All right, guys. Sad day, but happy day. Anytime you spend time growing up, a fish, a dog, or anything, you have to get rid of it. It's never sad, but when you buy a bunch of fish when they're little and you grow them out to see which ones you want, this is a part of the process. Just like if you was getting fish from Japan or from Alex and Julie up in Koi, you have your box you ship in. As you can see, these are boxes I've got in the past. I was hoping my bowls would come in so I could bowl my fish in the pond and give you a good look. So I'll just have to go my traditional way. I will fill this tub with water, bring all the prospects out, let them choose. This will be my fresh water, what my fish actually will get bagged in. If they do take any, I will take all the fish that are staying out, give them a good salt bath, the ones that are leaving, just to be safe. You never know. You never want to transport something. There could be something living in my pond that their fish that they currently have wouldn't be able to deal with. So you want to make sure. As you can see, there's no food. Today I'll start feeding everything afterwards, and they are really after it. Tulip poplar has been dropping a bunch of blooms. As you can see on the pond, some's gone through the net. Probably dropped in the waterfall and got washed in, so. It's your responsibility to make sure, your pet gets to a good home, gets to a good situation. When they're 3 inches long, it's a lot of times we overlook this, but it's an important part of the hobby. It's an important part of what we do. But it's just a part of fish keeping. We buy and keep fish. Hopefully, I'll be purchasing no more than one Tosai a year after we get to where we want to be, and that'll take care of everything. But they know something's different because there's things different in the water. Fishy, 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 fishy. They still come up to eat. But what I also want to do, I want to make sure that the fish are not traumatized. The ones that are staying too. You're gonna be chasing fish with the net. As you saw last week when we were cleaning the pond, they would almost swim in the net. But I will take the drifting net that cleans off the top of the pond and the stuff in the pond, and I'll just guide them over, put them in a plastic bag, and then transport them into the pond. I'll use this as my second water change of the week. My pond's right at, I think, 2,900 gallons, so I'll do another 50% water change this week. When I started doing videos on this, I really wanted to do them because this is an overlooked part of the hobby. Too many koi that'll live, 30, 50, 70, 220 years, die too early because people overstock their ponds, and which we all do at some time or another. But we have a responsibility to keep it safe. Although I am expanding my pond out to almost 10,000 gallons this year. Even with 10,000 gallons, you take the Showa and the Sankey, and they get 90 cms. That's a lot of mass in. So even at my best, I plan on having 7, 8 fish in the whole pond when it's fully maxed. So I'll probably start with 5 and go from there. But I have a responsibility to the other guys, For some reason, they didn't make the cut. Male, didn't develop like I wanted them to, not as fast of a grower. So there's all kinds of reasons, but that doesn't mean, just because it's not going to be an 80, 90 cm fish, does not mean it won't be a great fish for somebody else's pond. So we'll see. it's not a fun day. Um, as those know me from the Central American, South American hobby, that basically I take all my fish and get them to distributors, you know, and let them do it. Well, I don't have the hookups in koi that I do in the Central American world. Plus, I don't have, you know, endangered or almost extinct fish. You know, although I love my koi and I think they're perfect, there's, you know, other koi in the same state. Whereas I have Central American, South Americans that are, you know, you probably won't see in the state, probably ever. So here we go. I'll keep you updated all day. I think this is important. I think it's a part of the growth of the hobby, and you know, something we all should know how to do. In the process, they brought their own container, so as you can see, the guys are much bigger than I thought. They've grown a lot this year already since I put them out in March. So really, really cool. At this point, we'll give them their salt bath, or if we find anything, we'll treat it. But mostly it's just a salt bath, just to be careful. Everybody else is in still good spirits. Didn't have to do too much chasing. So. Okay, it's important to, I've been cycling a sponge filter so that they'll, if you're driving, it's just simpler to get there. This guy was, I thought it was be tiny, but man, came out about 18 inches. A 24, love the Gen Ren. Have you seen the Gen Ren pattern on this? It's really nice. I had some real bad storms last night and just blew a lot of trash around. I'm sure my pond's just completely filled. Guard dog Luna on patrol. Yeah, it's covered up. It's one of the bad things about not having a skimmer. But the safety thing of it, I just choose to. I'll come out and totally clean it today. As you can see, these guys are ready to go. One thing you gotta do, you gotta adjust your food. A lot of people feed the pond. You don't want to do that. You're going to adjust it as the koi come and go, as they grow. Like, you know, we took koi out so they don't need as much. A lot of this stuff ends up in the trash. If you heard the ruckus, that was a cat trying to get in. And just a heads up, Luna will kill anything that gets in the yard. Helps with predators. I guess that's the reason I don't see many birds or anything else. Koi are doing good. I took some scrapes yesterday just to make sure everything looked good. But I'll continue my water changes and everything from there. Well, about time to get to work. I got one of my judo students coming over to help clean. So we'll get this thing cleaned out. All right, see you guys. Midday Sunday. Already got to clean up, but as all you see, we already stirred up a bunch of other stuff that flowed in. We'll be cleaning out. Alex is over there cleaning out the filter, pulling out any leaves. Got to put the plywood back on top of it. I have a bunch of plants growing. I'm gonna make a plant filter this year. I'll show videos of that too. But everybody seems real happy. Nice 90 degrees on a Saturday, and sun's bright, and colors are glowing so much you can't even see it on the fish. But I'll see you later this evening. Luna did not kill the cat. We'll help it escape here in a few minutes. Hopefully it'll be traumatized enough not to come back. Really excellent guard dog. She protects the yard. We feed the birds, so we have thousands of birds here. You know, that worries me about other predators coming, but we keep a net. The motion lights come on at night, so if they come on, I'll send Luna out and she'll do her thing. As you can see, she's pretty persistent, but one other thing we have to do, and I do it every day, is I actually flush my filter, especially on a day where we had a huge storm. I turn my valve off. As you can see, the ground's still wet from last night. And I rotate it and give it a go. Looks pretty clear, not a lot of trash, but watch, it'll get it out the bottom of the filter. There it comes. All that's from yesterday. Try to flush those filters. It clears up fairly quickly, but still, you gotta flush those filters. I do it every day. When I get home at night, I do it, or from work or whatever. In judo, I flush my filter. I think the short bursts work better. And then all I gotta do is I come back, turn the power flow off, rotate it, and go back. And it will be a big push. You'll notice an instant difference in the water flow. We got a piece of plywood here we cover up our filter with to keep the algae down, but so far it's not been a big issue. I did hear a frog last night, and frogs call predators. I know people love to have frogs in their pond. Absolutely never want frogs in my pond. They're out there, those bullfrogs making that sound. Predators come in at night. Predators that'll eat frogs will also eat fish, and I don't want something to end bad with me having to take out a predator if it gets one of my fish. So I say keep frogs out of your pond. Plus, there's, you know, they're freshwater, they can carry parasites. You just do not want wildlife mixing with your domestic animals. This is never a good thing in farming or hobbying or whatever you do. All right, see you guys this evening for the final of the video. All right, as you can see, my little pump here, one of my extra ones. I use it to run my plant filter off of a lot of times, but it clogged up. And the plant filter will go over here next week. That'll be another video. And this thing here just basically crams on. And as you can see, it's clogged up. Oh, got it cleaned out during the 500-gallon water change. That's probably going to end up being about 3. You can see there, before it's emptied out. Of course, one of my feeders went off, So the guys seem to be happy. They know they love the fresh water. And it appears the cat did escape. I went over and checked. It's not just hid, so that's good. You don't want some kid's pet or something getting mauled in your backyard, but at the same time, don't want them to scar up my fish. Everybody seems to be real happy. I think the small water change is just a great way to end the weekend. Some debris still flowing in and dropping, so it's a constant battle. Maybe when my fish get a lot bigger, I'll get a, I'll break down and get a skimmer. But right now, when they can fit in the skimmer box, and I've heard too much about it, I really don't want to do it. Plus, I got time to clean. This algae here at the bottom of the little stream waterfall, the actual fish will swim up and eat that once the water goes above. They just absolutely love it. And it's all the way around the pond. You'll catch them chewing on it all the time. So, still no sign of spawning, which is excellent. I watched a video where one of the online, well, it's not really online. I guess it was Sean out of Long Island was selling fish, and he was seeing if they spawned. The males had the rough gills. So obviously fish at this age can spawn, but I haven't seen any sign of it yet. Really hoping they don't. With no cover in here whatsoever, I don't think that's going to be an issue if they lay eggs, they'd eat. But I don't want that much rough housing, pond spawning going on. Do have dividers like I use for my Central American, and maybe I'll show putting that in if that's necessary. I can put my males on one side and females on the other. And a bird shuttle just flew over, and I guess that's just natural instinct. You saw all the fish scatter for a second. So let's fill this baby up. See you all as the week goes. 2 weeks is the Louisville show. Always a great show. And it's if you're wanting to get plants, fish, whatever you want, there's just a ton of good vendors there. You pick them up as you want. And it's just a good place to go, be around koi. And I hope it matches up with a football schedule and I'll get a go. In it's 3 days, I think I'll be able to make it out. Well, you guys take care. See you on the round.